Hey everyone, this video may ruffle some feathers, and typically I don't make videos that give tons of opinions, but I think that my opinion is valid, and I think that my years of experience as a real estate agent and being a client advocate are going to be helpful in this. And so if anything, just take it for another data point and then make your own choice, because guess what? We do have the freedom to make our own choices, and you have the freedom to believe whatever you want to believe. So I'm not putting any hate out there. If you're gonna talk about something at length, be informed about it. And the thing that's most bothersome to me are the folks that don't do real estate for a living, and yet it's like they're trying to make this video to spark attention or go viral or whatever. And great, if that's what you want to do. I just want to be informative. But what I wonder is that I'm seeing people that are like, hey, sellers, guess what? You're going to now save tens of thousands of dollars by just paying the seller side commission, and the buyer's going to have to pay their own. Thing about it is that like they're not necessarily all going to save money. If that fully comes through and sellers really no longer pay any buyer side commissions, the seller technically, not all sellers are going to benefit from that. Actually, some people are going to lose money, and here's why. If you own a house and you're selling it for $250,000 and you only have to pay the seller side commission, you're paying 3% of $250,000. Most of the time when people sell a house, now not always, you do have downsizers and you do have people that go into renting, but most of the time if somebody owns a home, unless there's some type of underlying situation, loss of job, sickness, loss of a family member, etc., typically they go on to buy another house. Let's think about that. Most of the time when people sell a house, they're going to buy a house that's more expensive or bigger. And so if you think about it, if you were going to pay both sides of the commission when it was the sale of your property, you're going to pay 6% on average of $250,000. That's what it would have been in the past, okay? But what they're saying is that in July you'll save all this money, but I don't know. I kind of question why nobody's talking about this, because if you do upgrade to a bigger house or more expensive house, now, sure, you saved 3% when you sold your house. You saved 3% of $250,000. But let's say you're buying a house for $350,000 or $400,000. Now you're going to have to pay as a buyer 3% of that more expensive house. So instead of paying 6% of $250,000, now you're going to be paying 3% of $250,000 and 3% of either $350,000 or $400,000. So are the sellers really saving money? I don't necessarily agree with all that I've seen, but I think it's worth talking about, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it thus far, and I'm just wondering why. I mean, if we're going to give informative details, like not a scare tactic, but inform people of like what's really going to happen, because at some point most people are going to buy or sell a home or help someone, a family member, a friend do it, and be fully informed of what that means. The second thing that I want to cover, which I'll have to cover in part 2, because I like to keep my videos topics succinct and about one topic, is I'm going to cover the buyer broker service agreement. This is what they're talking about in a ton of those videos about what the buyer is going to have to sign just to have an agent show them a house. So go to part 2 and I'll tell you, because there's actually some key information here that people really aren't covering, and I think it's important to note. I'm Jody Simpson, and I sell homes in the Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Claremore surrounding areas.